Hey, I'm Lorelei, registered dietitian nutritionist. Welcome to my kitchen. This is gonna be a kitchen basics episode. I'm just gonna show you how you can make pie crust at
Tell them about Pie-vember.
What?
Tell them about Pie-vember.
All right, if you want to talk about that, you come in.
I do want to talk about it because it's a good thing.
Okay, Joe, tell them about Pie-vember.
It's a tradition celebrated worldwide that in the month of November, you make for your significant other or living partner pies. And this is called Pie-vember. It's one of my favorite months. It's a tradition.
Okay, so if you want Pie-vember, maybe you should make a pie for your significant other.
Well, one of us is a nutritionist and one of us is a Joe.
Yeah?
You have a master's.
Not in pies, in nutrition, and I'm gonna be honest with you, pie was not the focus of my program. Pie is not...
What are they teaching you people?
It's not a health food.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
Mind blown.
Really?
This can't be correct. Moderation.
Yes, so that actually...
Except in Pie-vember.
Okay, so the point actually, yes, is moderation. Pie is not a healthy food, but a healthy eating pattern does not mean that every food you eat must be healthy. Boom.
So we can have pie.
Yes. So I'm going to show you how to make a pie crust.
And eat it too.
This is the foundation of making pie. So one slightly healthy adjustment that I am making today is I'm going to use half whole wheat flour.
Okay.
Pie is traditionally made with just white flour, and it is nice and smooth and stretchy and easy to roll out. Yes, you can make a pie crust with 100% whole wheat flour. I have done it before, but it can be really hard to roll out. It gets a lot more crumbly. So I'm gonna go half and half. We're kind of compromising.
Okay.
Why don't you help me here? No, don't leave. Mr. Pie-vember.
This is not working out how I planned.
It's the perfect time for you to learn to make pie. What else?
It's not according to plan.
It's according to my plan. Half a cup each. Okay.
How do I do this?
Really?
Yeah.
If you can't figure this part out, there's other things I'm worried about.
Okay, I'm Joe Alive, and I am making some pie.
Okay.
I have measured out 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
And
Please.
it's going in.
Please.
I'm gonna close it up.
Spare us all.
And then we take the second half cup. You know, my measuring technique is you get it to like clump to one side of the thing.
Very good, yes.
You sift it by doing like a little bit of bump, bump, bump in the thing. Mm-hmm. And then eventually you get like a heaping cupful, and then you just kind of shake it in there until it levels out. Perfectly measured.
This is
Boom!
not...
My part in this is done.
Well, some people will weigh it, some people will sift it in there and I just measure it. Okay, so we're gonna add a dash of salt.
I'm mixing the flour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important step.
Well, it's not an unimportant one.
How much
I'm
is
just
the
gonna
dash?
add a little bit.
You're like, it's
Getting
landing
it all
on me.
you. Oh, poor thing. You're seasoned now.
I am salty.
You can add sugar to a pie crust, like maybe a tablespoon, but I'm actually just gonna skip it because it's not the most essential thing. Butter. I'm actually using earth...
Not butter.
It's not butter. This is Earth Balance, so this is a vegan alternative. You can make a pie crust with a liquid oil, but it's not gonna be as flaky. So you need an oil that is solid at room temperature to get a flaky pie crust. Butter, lard, these are traditional, but if you're looking...
You're rolling your eyes.
Well, wouldn't use lard because it's an animal product. And butter sometimes, but it also is an animal-based product, even though it's vegetarian.
Nutritionally, what's wrong with it? Why is this better?
They're all fat. They're all fat. Nutritionally, there's not that much difference. Even this kind of thing, it doesn't have an animal fat in it, but it does have saturated fat in the form of palm oil. Coconut oil is also a saturated fat. So these saturated fats are the ones that are solid at room temperature. So you're gonna get some saturated fat in this. Again, moderation.
Not a problem.
Moderation.
It's Pie-vember. Yes.
Your body
See, it's catching
actually
up.
doesn't really take the seasons differently. So to 1 cup of flour, we're gonna do 1/2 cup of fat.
Got that really measured well.
Well, it's not measured perfectly.
Okay.
And I am not a perfect measurer. You may have noticed that in other videos. Yeah.
We hope you've watched that many.
If you're using butter, it's 1 stick. Basically what we're going to be doing now that we put it in the flour is cutting it into small pieces and getting it mixed in with the flour. So that's where you can help me.
Is a fork the traditional device used for this step?
It is not. There are things called pastry cutters that we don't own. You can use actually knives are more traditional. We can each take a couple and then we can really get to it. Here, take another one. Use both forks.
Demonstrate the technique for me.
Okay,
I'm going to observe you for a while.
We're just going to try to kind of cut it up into little bits.
Yes, that's working well.
It actually is.
Good job. You're getting this done.
4 forks are faster than 2.
I know there's room for 4 forks in
Come
this.
come on.
I'm setting the bowl.
Okay, I'll do that.
I don't know how to
3
do
forks.
it. I haven't gotten it done.
Well, this is what you're learning.
Remember, I'm a butter, and I'm getting fussed up off forks.
So we're having a fork fight in here.
That was my issue.
But it's working. You can use your fingers, but actually your fingers will melt the fat.
Why is that bad?
Well, because we want to keep it in whole little chunks so that it kind of breaks up the flour and that when it cooks, it becomes flaky. There's a whole science.
I thought your thing was science. Tell us more.
That's it. That's all I got today.
If you want to send us a pastry knife.
Pastry cutter. Yeah. You can also do this in your food processor, but then you gotta clean your food processor. It's much easier to clean some forks. Once we've got it to like the slightly chunky butter divided up and distributed
It needs a phase
through the flour
name for
phase.
this. Into the chuncter phase.
Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that we are I'm gonna go in with my fingers at the very end, but I'm gonna do a limited amount with my fingers because I don't want to melt it or like completely blend it in. Okay.
My idea
just a little bit.
Pie crust is now broken.
Oh no!
So I can't do it. I'm out.
Now we're gonna stir in some ice water. So again, we don't want to melt the butter, so we're using very cold water. The ice, don't put the ice in there, but you can do the water. And we're just gonna put in enough until it comes together. So there's not a specific measurement amount. You've just got to kind of wait until you get a dough of the consistency you like.
Remember, when it goes in the oven, we have to do the pie dance.
Mm-hmm. Well, before it goes in the oven, the actual pastry is going to sit in the fridge for another maybe 20 minutes or so, and then Joe's going to be rolling this crust out.
Who is Joe?
Really?
I noticed you brushed over the pie dance.
The pie dance?
Yes. When it goes in the oven, we're going to have to do the pie dance. So, enjoy! Surprises for everyone!
Oh, wow. All right. I tend to like a slightly softer dough just because I think it's easier to roll out. Once you have the dough to the consistency you like, remember it's going to firm up a little bit in the fridge. You can just wrap it in plastic. Actually, I'm just going to plastic wrap this bowl and leave it in the bowl and then put it in the fridge to just chill a little bit more, and then we will roll it out. Okay, so once the dough has chilled, it should be firm enough that we can roll it out. We're just going to use a rolling pin, roll it into a circle, put it in our pie pan, and then we pour the filling into the pie. But
It's
Joe...
time for the pecan can. Pecan can, we can.
Joe is convinced we're having a pecan pie, which is his favorite.
Yes.
Maybe.
You asked me to get pecans.
I tipped my hat. Have you ever rolled out a pie crust?
No.
Well, it's time for you to learn how. You roll out pizza dough sometimes.
Sure.
So it's the same principle. We're going to just put down some flour. You got to kind of flour everything. So flour, we'll flour the rolling pin. Don't want to add a lot more flour, but we just need to make sure that it's not going to stick so we can actually get it off the counter when we want it to go in the pan. Make a circle.
Okay.
Make it so.
Boom! Magic. It's different than pizza dough.
Yeah, it is. Don't get too handsy with it.
Why?
Melting the butter.
Hard to tell if it's cracking or kind of what it's doing. But.
Yeah. The whole wheat flour makes it a little more likely to crack. And then I would say partway through the rolling, just flip it. So every once in a while, and that just keeps it from getting too pressed into your surface. It is a little crackly. So you get the gist. Keep going.
Working so hard in the kitchen for the Pie-vember.
It's okay if it's a little rustic. It will still taste good as long as it holds the pie. This is not anywhere near as big as we need it to be.
Yeah.
You want me to finish it?
Okay, good luck.
Okay, and you can help me flute the edges once it gets into the pan.
I don't play the flute.
Once it's rolled and in the pan, we can do some fancy little edges. You don't have to do anything fancy here, but this is kind of how you can be a little decorative. I am just gonna roll these edges in. Roll them in. You wanna help with this?
I'm just lurking.
You're lurking. Well, are you learning?
Yes.
Lurk and learn. Now, if you're doing a double crust pie, you'd put the other crust over the top, so you would have to make twice as much. Put the other crust over the top, and then you roll both sides in so that we get this nice little fancy edge.
Yet another advantage to doing pecan pie
is
it's not a double crust.
It's true. Sometimes it's not going to be perfectly even, and that's just life.
It looks good.
Good. There's a couple ways that I like to flute my edges or decorate my edges.
So this is where the fluting comes in.
The fluting. Right. You can just put one finger down and then pinch on the other side of it and then just go around like that. And that's fun. Or you can do more of like a wavy look. You would push kind of in and out. So in and out and in and out. And so that it's kind of wavy. Which one do you like best? Do you like the pinch one or do you like the wavy one?
I like the wavy.
Okay. And we, in fact, are going to turn this into a pecan pie.
Yay!
If you're doing pie that doesn't have to bake for a long time, you'd want to blind bake your crust. Do you know what that is?
You close your eyes and throw it in the oven?
It just means that you're baking it without anything in it. Sometimes it like puffs up though, so some people will weight it. You could use like if you put a piece of parchment and then some pie weights, or you can use dry beans as pie weights. This is a vegan pecan pie. Do you care?
No.
No.
It's
still full of sugar. It's still full of flavor. It's still full of pecans.
Yes.
It may have some tofu in it.
What?
The recipe I got for
vegan pie in the sky.
I'm not going to post the recipe because I don't think it is anywhere online, but I'm not selling this book to you. Will not make any money, but I actually kind of like it. Certainly pecan pie doesn't have to be vegan. I just think in a lot of ways baking, it can be vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make it healthier.
What's the point?
Cruelty-free. Now you just put in the filling.
Yay!
Don't waste any. Don't leave any in the pan. Get it all spatulaed out of here. We're just gonna pour it right on in. This is a 9-inch pie crust. There's sugar and brown sugar and maple syrup. Several
different sugar nutrients are coming to the fore in this pie.
Yeah, like I said, not health food. But an occasional treat actually is healthy for the soul.
Yes. Pie-vember.
Yay. You gotta keep the things, this frame gets cut up. No. None of that if you want pie.
Don't stuff.
I'm making a mess! Cooking is messy!
Earning our pie dance. That's how we roll in the kitchen.